to forget not to hold it when you're supposed to go to the bathroom. I would like to introduce internationally best-selling author and screenwriter, Mr. Ernest Cline, to the stage. And an up-and-coming filmmaker that you guys might, I really try to remember his name. He's going to do big things. Please welcome Steven Spielberg! Gentlemen, Hall H, gentlemen. Steven, you must have been to Hall H before. You've been in here before, haven't you? You've been here twice before. Are there microphones?
Twice.
Oh, good, excellent. Ernest, you and I are almost exactly the same age. Your book was essentially a diary of my life. Can you just talk about what this means to be here on stage at Hall H with Steven Spielberg, who has directed your movie?
Wow, that's a tall order. Well, like I'm sure a lot of people in this room, I grew up watching this man's movies and studying them, and they're kind of woven into the fabric of my DNA. I learned to become a storyteller from this guy, and so it's been the most amazing and gratifying experience of my life.
And Steven, can you talk a little bit about the virtual world that you've created? Any challenges that were different than other things that you had worked on before?
Well, the virtual world was it was amazing when I read Ready Player One, when I read Ernie's book. It was like the most amazing flash forward and flash back at the same time to a decade that I was very involved in, the 1980s, but to a flash forward about a future that I think is out there awaiting all of us, whether we like it or not. And the creation of a virtual world took almost 2.5 years of preparation to result in what will result at the end of March of next year.
And when you read the book, did you instantly feel challenged by this? I mean, do you still feel challenged at this point in your career? I mean, or do you ever just wake up and you go, it's Steven Spielberg? Oh, that's a mirror. Like, does it ever?
No, I read the book and I said, they're going to need a younger director for this. It was really, it's more than you could ever imagine, Ernie's imagination, in taking all of us where you took us. And I had no idea at first how I was, as a filmmaker, going to get any of you there, but he was the guide, he was the handbook for doing that.
Excellent. So I assume because it's Hall H, because it's Saturday and you're here, do you have some footage that you can share with people? Maybe a teaser of sorts?
Yeah, we have a little footage. It's not like a 5-minute production reel, but we have a little footage which I'm really proud of, which will just give you a slight taste of things to come.
Excellent. Olivia, Cooke, T.J. Miller, Ben Mendelsohn, and co-writer Zach Penn. Hello. I just feel like a weird creep over here just staring at you guys from off to the side. But Zach, let's talk just really quickly. Let's talk about the job that you guys had taking this novel and turning it into a movie. Because obviously, when people read a book and it's very personal to them and they sort of project what they see, what were some of the challenges and how did you guys go about being able to take that onto the screen?
Wow, well, it was super easy. It just kind of, I think Steven would back me up and say this was the most complex, it's definitely the most complex movie I've ever worked on, and I think Steven might agree with me. There's so much material, there's so much stuff in the book that you can use, that just to find a way to winnow it down and tell a story that can fit into a reasonable length so that's not 11 hours. That in itself was a challenge, but to be honest with you, I thought, well, this will never happen. We're never going to be able to make this movie because we need like Steven Spielberg to direct it, or otherwise we're not going to do it. And to be honest with you, when they told me they were going to send it to him, I was like, oh, he's never going to do it. So yeah, that made everything a lot easier.
that really helped to get the only guy who could make this movie to direct the movie.
Yeah.
Ty actually has a VR production company. Is this correct?
Yes.
And what are you working on right now? Oh, you can't say.
No, I mean, I was obsessed with virtual reality when I heard about this project, and I was like, oh, holy shit! Steven Spielberg is doing a VR movie. I can't wait to see that. Yeah, and so I mean, just to be even involved in the smallest increment, I think I'd have been so fortunate. But you know, now here we are at Comic-Con, and I'm so happy to be here with all you guys.
Yeah!
Teacher, just dying to.
Tell everybody that I'm wearing my Elliot hoodie.
Yes.
Steven Spielberg, and I always refer to him in his full name. Steven Spielberg will, he doesn't like to reference like in a meta way his own movie so much, so I dressed up as sort of with Back to the Future shoes. I did the whole thing. I'm in the spirit of Comic-Con.
I feel so stupid because I just wore a Jurassic Park patch and I'll be like, he's gonna love this, and then you're like in 9 characters. I feel shamed. This isn't even.
It's not even a real.
I took it off. Yeah. Then one of us was like, Jurassic Park, huh? I'm like, it was for Steven! So I just threw it in the audience there. Olivia, we're going to talk a little about how most of the characters in the film have a human version and an avatar. So can you talk a little bit about the creation of those 2 different types of characters?
Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, these avatars are sometimes the idealized version of themselves or a completely different creation. So kind of working with that duality in mind, because some of us in motion capture we had to adopt different characteristics and different physicalities. So to work with that was really fun and interesting, and unlike anything that I've had to do before, and a challenge for us all, I would say. Just coming back up.
So for Ernest, because this book came out about 6 years ago, and were you surprised? Are you surprised? I mean, is this so surreal? Are you surprised at how close you are to this vision? And is this the vision that you imagined when you were feverishly typing away? Is this what you saw in your head?
It's better than that. The whole time I was writing the book, I assumed it could never be a movie because of all the different. I kind of wanted to mash up pop culture and pay tribute to everything in pop culture that I love. And I assumed that it could just never work as a film, but that's why I was so, gratified when I think really the only 2 guys who could have made this movie came on board. Zach's work is a big influence on me. He wrote Last Action Hero, which is one of my favorite films, and kind of the first movie where a movie fan gets trapped inside a movie and uses their movie knowledge, to survive. And so, and I just had the best experience. With the adaptation. But as far as like virtual reality coming about, that's what's amazing to me about this film. This movie is going to expose so many people to the concept of virtual reality that I think it's going to change the speed with which virtual reality is adopted by our civilization. It's really, that's the power of movies. So it's really exciting. Last Christmas was the first Christmas where you could buy virtual reality headsets. Commercially available. So it's weird to have this all come about at the same time.
I can't imagine why people in today's day and age would want to escape actual reality. I mean, there's no reason that I can think of, but I guess if the kids like the VR. Ben, do you have any stories, anything that was fun for you about working on the movie and working with Steven?
Nah.
Okay, good. That was it. Everyone just leaves.
Hi. I love you guys. It's awesome. I mean, if you turn up to work and Steven Spielberg is your boss, come on. Everything else is just gravy after that.
We have some time for audience Q&A. If you guys want to ask a couple of questions, we have just about 8 minutes or so. Hey, Mike! Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, my question is, I saw some of the iconic video game stuff, and is Sinistar going to be in the game? Because I do have good Sinistar.
I hunger.
Sinistar. Yeah.
I don't know if Sinistar made it in, man, but you could probably see one of the ostriches from Joust in the teaser exploding and turning into an egg. There's so much video game stuff, classic video game stuff hidden in this movie. It's going to make you happy.
Well, nothing's stopping you when you watch the movie from just sitting there and going, I am Sinistar. Like, you can totally just do that. Good to see you, man. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Luis.
What's the question?
So my question is for the author. Just when you wrote the book, this was before VR became a very popular thing. So how does it feel knowing that VR is pretty much becoming what it almost is already?
It's really.
No, it's not. There's a guy right behind him that everybody wants to hear a question from that guy also. So he should go right after him. So nobody's laughing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what was your question again?
So pretty much your book was the forefront for modern day VR. So how does that make you feel that you pretty much wrote the blueprint?
Oh, you're so kind. It makes me feel a little bit like Arthur C. Clarke, predicting the satellite before it was actually invented. But when I wrote Ready Player One, I was standing on the shoulders of a lot of science fiction giants like William Gibson, who wrote Neuromancer, and Neil Stephenson, who wrote Snow Crash. So I was not the first person to envision virtual reality. I feel very fortunate, though, that I wrote a book kind of predicting the potential of virtual reality right at the time that it was about to come about. And that was the most amazing thing to me. Like companies like Oculus and HTC Vive, they give copies of Ready Player One out to all their employees to help inspire them and show them the potential of virtual reality. So it's just it's a huge honor. It would be the second biggest honor of my life.
It's a little bit more accurate than Lawnmower Man, I think, also. I want to get a question from the guy. Go ahead.
His question is, when are you going back to your home planet, TJ? That's his question.
Once the task is done.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Spielberg, how many times did you read the book before you took on the project, and what stood out the most to you? That you said, I gotta do this? Will they let me get away with that? Please.
Will they let me get away with putting some of my own movies in this movie and not be vilified for some kind of grand act of, grand larceny of vanity or something like that? Because so many of the iconic moments that were chosen by Ernie happened in the era of the 80s that I was very much involved in. So I had to leave a lot of myself out, or, I would have had to defer to another director. But for me, the thing that really made me want to tell the story, more than anything else, was the amount of, the kind of world that 2045, 44 gives to people, which is so dystopian and so much, people are leaving the country. And all of a sudden, virtual reality gives you a choice, gives you another world you can exist in, and you can do anything in that world, anything you possibly could imagine, because there are haptic suits that haven't come on the market yet that give you a kind of feedback that approximates touch, sensuality, and pain. And so that interaction between real life and virtual life, by the third act of this movie, is almost non-existent. And that, in the book, is what made me want to jump into the movie.
Excellent, thank you. I think we have time for one more question. Hi.
My question is for Mr.
What? Wait, hang on. What are you guys eyeing about? Because the guy in the back? You want the guy in the back to ask a question? All right, I'll tell you what. If you're good and you pay attention to this man, I will let the man behind him ask the final question on this panel. But if his question is no good, that is on you. Do you understand this? A lot of pressure back there. All that hand waving better yield an amazing question to everybody. All right. What's your question?
All right. What exactly got into the brainstorming behind from the footage you saw, we saw DeLorean and the Tron cycles. What exactly was the inspiration for you to be like, I want this thing and this thing right next to each other for that scene?
Well, a lot of it's in the book. I own a DeLorean. I drive a DeLorean because of this when I first met Steven, I brought the glove box lid of my DeLorean to the meeting and pulled it out and asked him if he would sign it, and he did. And then I asked him, have you ever signed a DeLorean before? And he said no. I said, do you know who the only guy in the world with a Steven Spielberg signed DeLorean is? This dude. So that's why it's so amazing that it ended up in the film. But a lot of it, a lot of things that are maybe major events in the book will only be mentioned briefly in the movie or be in the corner of a frame, but all of it's still in the spirit of this in the book. And that was what was one of the most fun parts of the production for me was hearing Steven and Zach and other people on the cast come up with ideas of things to insert in the film, and then because it's Steven, most of them said yes, and so they ended up how amazing is it to see the Iron Giant, photorealistic.
The Iron Giant is a real major player in the story.
So I'm going to let this guy ask a question, but I also want to give a shout out. If you haven't read Ready Player One, you absolutely should, or listen to the audiobook, which is narrated by my dear friend Will Wheaton, and he does an amazing job. So he doesn't want to answer the question, so you just want to sit back there and kind of co-host. I'm totally up for that, my friend. You can sit back there and co-host as much as you want. That's all the time we have for questions. I would like to thank everyone up here. Ready Player One opens March 30th, 2018. Thank you to Steven Spielberg.